they can connect you to something that can help you if you pray for wisdom. But I mean, as long as you're satisfied with never knowing what's going on in your own head and always looking at another public speaking head,
Appreciate you, Greg.
you know,
Mhm.
you can always get a public speaking head, a figurehead to tell you how to live your life. But I'm telling, but I know the heart that beats inside of man
Mhm.
wants to connect to something. You want to put your heart into something. I
Yeah, I
simply
mean, I
say
don't deny that at
Jesus,
all.
Jesus is the way, the truth, and the light.
Okay, great. Now, I don't deny that, as human beings, we want to connect with others. That all that's good and well, right? I could understand that. But the question then becomes that just because we want that connection, how does that now show that God exists? And you mentioned Jesus, so your particular one is, I'm assuming, the God of Christianity. So like I can understand that we all want connection and everything like that, but how does that now say that because we want that, that makes Jesus exist now, or not to make Jesus exist, but that makes God exist, and that makes Jesus the way, the truth, and the light? Well, how do we connect those two things?
Well, the book says that all things good works together for God's purpose. So you connect the heart, the mind, and the soul because Jesus is the one that says, "Give that unto God." And then the second greatest commandment was to love thy neighbor unto thyself. So he is the one that was trying to teach us about the heart, the mind, and the soul.
Okay,
It's
Akari,
everything
let me
else
ask
in
you
the
a question.
world that grabs and makes our eyes, which is the
Got you.
window
Let
to
me
the
ask let
soul.
me ask you a quick question. Let me ask you a quick question. Can I learn to love people without looking at the Bible?
Yes.
Okay, so that doesn't really tell me anything that is true, does it?
Well, you can learn to love people without looking in the Bible,
Hmm.
but how do you how do you appreciate that love?
I
Yes,
appreciate that
you
love
can you can you
because
can you can you can find peace and happiness in Islam,
mhm,
because they do talk about Jesus in Islam.
they do.
Prophet Muhammad is the one that called on Jesus and explained his story for us to hear. You can learn from Hinduism. You can
Yep.
learn from yoga.
Hmm.
I personally would never regret my baptism because I personally it is something that was very self-awareing.
Right.
I was
Okay. Now
young.
here's the thing that
Guys talked to me. He told me
I got you. I got
he
you.
told
Give
me
me a second.
not
Give
to
me a second.
get a tattoo.
Hold on, Carl. Like, this is what I want to point out, because you already said that we can learn these things, and we can learn to appreciate things outside of the context of the Bible and in religion. And the
Not in
thing,
America though. You
not
can't
not
learn to appreciate stuff with all this fake digital stuff. It's too easy to cheat. It's not fair. It's all fake. Look at your materials that you wear. Your shirt is your
Are
shirt's
you?
half fake.
Hold on, Akari. Are you being a pole? Are you trolling me? Are you trolling me right now? Are you being a
No,
pole?
I'm being serious with you. If you
Okay.
if
No,
you
I'm just
can't
making
you can't
sure,
you can't
because I
set
get
up
a
a
lot of these.
society that's
Right.
based
Well,
off of competition like the
I got you,
Roman
I got you, I got you.
games.
But listen to what I'm saying. Listen to what I'm saying for a second. Listen to what I'm saying for a second. And everyone who requests, I'm doing a one-on-one right now, so I'll get you guys in a minute. Okay, I'm doing a one-on-one. So Akari, this is what I want to say. Since you already said that we can have love and appreciation and everything like that outside the Bible, that was exactly my point of we cannot know exactly, or it doesn't prove exactly that the Bible is the way, or is the truth. Me, for example, if you ask me, how do I appreciate things outside of the, hold on a second.
I never said it wasn't the truth. I
Mhm.
simply said you can forego the truth if you're like a native or somebody like in an island or something. You
Okay,
can
great.
still
So
find
how do you
God in
know? Wait,
nature
let me ask you a question. How do you know that the Bible is now the truth, since we have other religions to go by?
because I pray about it and that when it comes to it, I gain I gain knowledge of understanding why my brethren seeks evil, why my other brethren seeks good,
Does
and
prayer
why.
happen in other religions?
And I'm talking about Genesis.
Right, right. I'm asking, does prayer happen in other religions?
What?
Does prayer, because you said that you know it's true through prayer. Does
No,
prayer happen in other religions?
I was talking about good and evil, but in other religions, don't necessarily talk about like in Hinduism. They talk about
They-
fighting, always seeking for the
Bro,
truth.
Islam prays 5 times a day. Bro. They pray all the time.
Right, but Islam also believes in Jesus.
Right, but they don't believe that Jesus is the Messiah or the Son of God. They don't believe that.
I don't believe he's
the
Messiah. I believe he is the newborn king.
What does that mean?
It means that you need to do your research in the Bible before you throw it before you cast it aside.
Okay, you being a Poe.
Well, I'm asking you to imagine the Bible. I'm asking you to imagine it to be true.
I appreciate you, bro. I appreciate you, bro. I know
you only appreciate yourself.
I know you being a Poe. I know you being a Poe. I appreciate you, though, bro. I appreciate you. Thanks for coming up. All right, Grace. I had somebody else, but I guess they had to leave. Hey, Grace. You kind of left. What happened? Come on, y'all. I told you I'm doing one-on-one. Don't just leave all of a sudden. Oh, I had someone in. Here we go. All right, Grace, go ahead and request again. What's going on? I'm sorry, I don't know how to say your name. Can you
Hassan?
Hassan. Hi, Hassan.
Yeah.
What's going on, bro? You 18?
Yeah, I'm 18. Yeah.
All right. Believe in any type of religious tradition or just spiritual?
Yeah, I'm Muslim, so I do believe in Islam.
Muslim. All right, cool.
Yeah.
Can you give me a good reason to believe in a God?
Yeah, I think a good reason would be that that God is real. I think based off just observing reality, we can see there's good signs. Order and order is a good indication that God exists, that there's intelligence that produced this world, rather than it being like an accident.
How do you know intelligence produced this world and not it wasn't just a series of random events that came to this thing to what we have today?
So I would say, based off of like what I see, we don't see things that have order and complexity coming from just accidents. We don't see that. We see intelligence behind, the production of a phone or technology. And when I look into the world and universe, we see a pattern of the same type of organization there too.
What organization do you see in the universe, and how did you determine that the universe even has an order? Because just because things are working in the way that they work doesn't mean that there's necessarily an order to it. It could just be the laws of physics has it the way that it has. Now we don't know why the laws of physics do what they do. I mean, the laws of physics do what they do because of quantum mechanics, but we don't know why quantum mechanics does what it does. So, like, how did you distinguish this from a natural arising of the universe? Then something had to be intelligence behind it, because we only have one universe to explore. So, how did you determine that this one is deliberate?
That's a good question. So, I would say that when you look at, like, I just use an example of something in front of me, like this phone. It has, organization within it. There's, the way it's set up. There's a purpose and function based off to it, because things are set up not just randomly, but in a way to function, right? And so what that tells me is that it's not accidental, because things that are accidental usually don't produce like working systems. You know what I mean? And so same thing, what I would say with this, the universe and this world, we are these things, the universe and this world, are intelligible. Like, we're able to actually do science. The fact that we can even do science is because they're intelligible, and that we are able to, we're intelligent enough, to take that information that's already out there and pretty much translate it in a way that we understand how things work.
Okay, here's my thing about that though, because I like that you brought up a phone that you can tell how the phone is designed,
Yeah.
because you will never go out in nature and just see an iPhone or an Android pop out the ground, right? So
Yeah.
you can compare what you have in your hand to what's out there, and you can compare your phone to a rock that looks like a brick, and you know that rock is just something that's just there, and your phone had to be something that had to be put together. The thing is though, you have two comparisons within this universe. We don't have another comparison. For example, how many universes can you explore right now?
Just ours.
Just ours, exactly. So when it comes to your phone, a drawing of a phone, and a rock, you can compare those two things to see all those three things to see which one works. We only have this universe to explore, so there's
Mhm.
no way we can tell that this one is deliberate and another one is natural or deliberate, because this is the only one.
Um, so I mean, I disagree because just because it's the only one doesn't therefore mean that we can't get some sort of answers. We can't observe things and actually call it for what it is. Um, so, for example, we can compare things that are deliberate to things that are not. And we can use that comparison. For example, like if I were to take a piece of paper and rip it up and just throw it on this table, right,
Mhm.
randomly, that would be not organized. It'd be, there's no actual pattern, there's no intention behind it. So that would be something that's not designed. It wouldn't have the properties of design. Where the what I can also do is take that piece of paper and rip it up and create an SOS, SOS, and that would be designed. There was intention behind it. So there's a distinction there. We can actually compare things that are designed and things that are not, and use that as a premise to figure out, okay, is this does this natural world, do they have these properties as well, and drive a conclusion from that.
Okay, yeah. The thing is, what I'm saying is, like, you're still in the realm of being able to compare one thing to the other. You see what I'm saying? When we look
Yeah.
at the natural world, and you say this must be designed, every single time that we've gone off that type of like mindset or that type of assumption, it doesn't turn out to be true. It's just something that's just natural within our world. You see what I'm
What do you
saying? Like,
mean
for
by natural?
example, I would say thunderstorms, right? Our ancient ancestors used to believe that thunderstorms were gods or the voices of gods. We found out that
Mhm.
thunderstorms were something else. They used to believe that earthquakes were gods. We found out that it's something else. Hurricanes were gods. We found out that's something that's a natural occurring thing on our planet. You see what I'm saying? All these things were always said to be some sort of god, but anytime that every single time that we looked into why certain things happen, it has never been a supernatural cause. So why all of a sudden we're going to put this onto the universe that it has to be a supernatural cause? Because just as someone said in the comments, even if we look at this world, if we look at humans, we are not well designed. If we're going to say that this is a design, you know what I mean? Because we have teeth, extra teeth that do nothing. We have an extra part of our body that does nothing. We break down all the time. 75% of the water on this planet, the thing that we need to live, can kill us. None of that seems like a good design. You see what I'm saying? So, like, how do we assume design and not just there's not something natural? There's a natural pattern of the universe.
Mhm. So I guess the question is, when you say natural, what do
Mhm.
you mean by that? Because like the two positions I see here is that, okay, is it this universe is a result of intelligence or non-intelligence? So would you mean when you say natural, do you mean non-intelligence?
When I mean natural, I mean there's something that's not deliberate. Basically, it follows the laws of physics, chemistry, entropy, et cetera, et cetera. It's not something that's put into a deliberate motion. It's just something that happens within our universe because that's just how things work.
So you're saying it's just how it is. You're not really giving an external explanation for it. You're just kind of
Yes,
saying that's the way it is.
that's
But
just the
that's
way it is.
but that doesn't really give it, a satisfactory explanation for its origins.
Right. I mean, it's not satisfactory, but I think it's more honest to say I don't know than just putting a an untestable and unverifiable explanation on it. Because, like I said, every time we tried that, it didn't work out. It wasn't true.
When did we try that? What do you mean?
Like I said before, people used to believe that thunderstorms were gods. They're not. But back then, during those times, thunderstorms were basically a phenomenon that they didn't understand, and it was untestable to say that it was a god, and it was unverifiable to say that it was a god. But that's what they believed. They just put it on that it was a god. However, when we did get the tools and the knowledge to actually investigate what exactly causes thunderstorms, we found out that it wasn't a god. You see what I'm saying? It's just something that natural that the world just does. It's humidity and water and charged ions basically. That's what causes thunderstorms. You see what I'm saying? So anytime we put on an unverifiable, untestable claim onto a phenomenon that we don't understand, and then then we get to the point where we can actually test it, it's never supernatural. So why would we assume the same thing for the universe?
So the people in history who've said that thunderstorms and earthquakes did you say they're a result of God or they are gods themselves? Is that what they believed?
They believe that they were gods themselves.
Okay, so that them believing that, right, and having that misinformation.
Wait, actually, I'm sorry. Let me correct myself.
Yeah.
Some of them believe that they were gods, and other believes that they were caused by gods. I'm sorry.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Yeah. So then, how could you test? How okay, you can't test it, right? That claim, right? Because
Right.
it's a supernatural claim, and so could you also deny it or reject and say you can't really falsify it either, right?
You can't falsify. Yeah, you can't test. You can't falsify it. Now there
Yeah.
are people in history that have rejected those claims and say, no, I don't believe that those things are gods or caused by gods. There are the people who said that. I think it was either Aristotle or Plato who denied that Zeus was a real thing, and that's why they poisoned him. That's why he got the death penalty, because he denied that Zeus. He denied Zeus. Yeah, I mean, so like it has happened throughout history. We were like, no, I don't believe that. Yeah, I mean, so because it's just untestable, it's just unverifiable. So that's what I'm saying. Like, there's no reason to believe that. Go ahead, my bad.
Yeah, no, it's a good point. So
Appreciate the galaxy, y'all. Love you. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, you good, man. So yeah, I would say just because these people believed in, that these earthquakes were God or were a result of God, it doesn't really, I don't know, it doesn't really go disprove my argument in terms of, you know, is there what the actual truth is? What is the objective truth? Some people can worship a cow, they can believe a cow is God. People even worship trees, and so, but that doesn't therefore mean that's true. So I think the only way to come to that conclusion is to actually test it and have like a logic and reason. And I believe that's kind of what I'm doing by looking into this kind of design argument that there is order. Would you agree that is a good logical reasoning?
I wouldn't be sure because I'm not that well versed in reasoning, but it's just it seems to be like a non sequitur, like an error. Like we see apparent design in the we see like an apparent order in our world, in our universe. Therefore, that order must be deliberate. It's not that's not exactly true. You see what I'm saying? So it's like order can come from non-order. That does happen. You know what I mean?
Where does that happen?
If you throw a rock into a river and the ripples come out, that's disorder. But the ripples, become orderly after some time, don't they?
But you threw the rock in there though. You initiated the process. There's already like a process that's set up. So it's not really random, right?
We can we can say that maybe something set off the universe to exist, and we don't know what that is. But to then claim that it must have been a god there, how do we test that exactly? How do we know that?
Okay, exactly. So I would say that this, like, what's the definition of God? I think that's kind of what we need to understand. So that's why I kind of just use intelligence, some type of intelligence, and in terms of this being, whatever it is, there's certain attributes I think that it would necessitate that it has based
Why?
off of like what we see in the universe. For example, if this thing initiated this universe, and we see this universe is organized in this way, we would have to say this thing has to be powerful for it to be able to produce this type of energy.
Let me ask you a question. What exactly do you see that's organized about the universe?
Oh, so many things, from the macro to the micro. We have cells organized in different parts, have different functions. Each one, they're pretty much like little machines working together. They're able to, like, pretty much fix themselves, regenerate when you get a cut. DNA is best example in terms of its information, like the pretty much the programming, the script that gives each of these parts their function.
But
Those are.
we know these things can arise naturally as well, though.
What do you mean by naturally?
Like, for example, in the Milli Urey experiment, what they've done is that they recreated like conditions of what like Earth would have been like billions of years ago, and heated it up, hit it with some lightning, and when they looked at the actual, basically what you call it, soup, when they looked at it, they saw like organic materials arise from it. You see what I'm saying? And they did this, completely under complete natural conditions. So
Mhm.
we know that these things can arise naturally, as well, like the proto cells, proto DNA, RNA, stuff like that. We know that those things can arise. You see what I'm saying, within those type of conditions. So if you give it like billions of years, it could produce something exactly like us. We just don't have that time frame yet.
Do you think that, given enough time, for example, a rock could make a computer, could produce intelligent, like a computer? Is that
No,
possible? Why not?
that I mean, it just goes against. It can't say that it's completely impossible,
No,
but
I
I
agree.
don't think that can happen.
Yeah, I agree with you. And the reason is because a rock doesn't have the fundamental kind of what's it called, potential even to produce something intelligent, because it itself doesn't contain intelligence. You know what
Yeah,
I mean?
rocks themselves don't really contain like the things to make organic material. But what I'm saying is that even in I mean, here it is. Rocks actually do contain organic material, but it needs to be under very certain conditions that organic material can arise from that. You see what I'm saying? Like, it's not just you put a rock on a planet, wait a billion years, all of a sudden the computer's gonna pop out. It's not gonna happen. Yeah, I mean, but if under certain conditions, if you let chemistry take its place over a course of billions of years, you might see multicellular organisms.
Yeah. So, but then I guess you are saying that a rock can produce a computer over billions of years.
I'm not gonna say a computer because a computer is not really a multicellular organism. I'm talking about like living organisms.
I mean, it's. I mean, a computer is composed of. Honestly, it should be easier because it's not organisms, right? It's just basically made of material that's it is organic, but it's like other material that's like rock and um,
Why do you think
you
a
know,
computer would be easier
minerals and whatnot.
why do you think a computer would be easier than organisms?
No, I'm saying, like, because the material that a computer is made out of is closer to what rocks are, right? Than what a human is.
Yeah, they're made out of metal and stuff like that, but there
Yeah.
are there are certain conditions that, like, for example, for you to actually get metal, you have to have rocks like under pressure on something. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's a way to actually get metal. You see what I'm saying? Like, there's a way to do that, but
Yeah.
it takes a lot of pressure for that to happen. It takes a lot of outside work for that to happen. It doesn't just come up out of nowhere. You see what I mean?
Yeah. See, exactly. That's my point. It's like this. You said a computer or a rock can't produce a computer over billions of years because a rock doesn't have the potential to, or at least I said that. And so, how can we say that you know, this universe, the way this universe produced the human being, a human being who's organized and functional, and we're pretty much like walking, talking computers with a mind and rationality, and we have these attributes and consciousness. um, how can something that doesn't contain that potential produce something like us?
Like I said, it happens over the course it happens over the course of billions of years. A lot of this has to do with how the way chemistry and physics and biology works. You see what I'm saying? Like life at its very, very base core is chemistry. You see what I'm saying? And there are
Yeah.
fine ways that chemistry works that we cannot reproduce yet because we don't have the tools to do it. But in a hypothetical where we actually do have the tools to create like an embryo from atoms and stuff like that, we can actually create a human from scratch if we had the tools to do it. We just don't have the tools to do it. But like the what I'm saying is that all this right here, like evolution and all that, that takes a high degree of knowledge of chemistry and biology that I don't necessarily have, and geology as well, because geology, chemistry, biology, these things all work together. I don't necessarily have the type of
Yeah.
knowledge to teach that. You
No,
see what
me
I'm
too.
saying? But I
Yeah.
do know that when it comes to like things of how we evolved, you have to start with the chemical reactions in the early earth and how that produce single cell organisms and then multicellular organisms, et cetera, et cetera. How exactly that happened has a lot to do with chemistry and origin of life research. I'm not an origin of life
Yeah.
researcher. You should talk to someone like Professor Dave on YouTube, or
Yeah.
Dr. Blitz, who's on this platform. They can tell you a lot more about that. But there's a lot of like research and evidence into origin of life where they will tell you that yes, even on this dead rocky earth with enough, energy and heat and electricity, organelles can come together. It happens. I don't know how, so you have to talk to them. That's why I
That's
gotta punt that. I don't know how that
yeah,
happens.
yeah, I got you.
You
That's
know what I mean?
that's the question, right? That's the real question. It's like because it pretty much what they're saying is that this all just organized by itself. Just it's just over millions of years, just organized by itself without any guidance by any intelligence. That's the problem I have. Like I don't have a problem with the evolution per se.
Mhm.
I just have the problem with the idea that it's
It's
just
unguided.
yeah, which doesn't
Eh,
make sense to me. It makes more sense that it's guided by some type of intelligence based off the product. We have mechanisms and processes here, things that are copying each other. Like the level of like engineering that we see here is intelligence is warranted. You know what I mean? So
I mean, I think here's a thing. Like,
yeah,
it's like I don't have a huge problem with people believing that. The issue is that I don't see a reason to believe that, because nature can look organized all by itself without anything guiding it. Like for example, look at the water cycle. We don't know if anybody set the water cycle into motion, and it just seems to work the way it works. Water evaporates, it falls into lakes and rivers, and then evaporates again, and it keeps going and going and going. It doesn't
yeah,
that
but
doesn't seem to be something that anyone put into place. No one no one has to put a hydrogen and two oxygen molecules together in order to make rain. No one has to do that. You see what I'm saying?
but,
It just happens on its own.
but
You feel
that's
me?
what's
So
in
it's like,
yeah, I get you, but that's what's in question here.
mhm.
Like from my
Why
side,
does it
it's like
happen on its own?
no, a
That's true in
theory.
quantum mechanics. I don't
But
know what
but
quantum
but
mechanics works. You have to
but
talk to.
yeah, I got you. But from my side, I could say the same. I could say the water cycle is a great example because of how organized it is. It has to be guided by some type of intelligence, or at least it must have been initiated or set up to do this, to be able to do this. This to work within the
But
system.
why though? Because the way that we look at quantum mechanics, we actually would expect that for this to happen naturally.
Yeah, we expect it because we see the systems, we see a pattern, right? But
Right.
we ourselves didn't create these patterns. These patterns were already here, and we are now discovering them. And so we're trying to figure out what the origins of this pattern is, why this pattern, these systems work so well together, and why they're
Yeah.
already there.
Right. It seems to have something to do with quantum mechanics and the laws of physics. Unless you're going to say that quantum mechanics and the laws of physics were put there by God. Sure, you can believe that, but
That makes
what's
more
the reason
sense
to
to me.
what evidence do we have that that's true? We
I
just
mean,
know that because the thing is, what it seems to me, that this seems to be like an argument of incredulity and like a God of the gaps argument. You see what I'm saying?
no,
Like we don't know why quantum mechanics and physics works the way that they do. Therefore, God. Like we can't
no,
say
no,
that.
no. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying system things that are organized, like quantum mechanics and whatnot. These things, there's logic, there's mathematics to them. There is, there is patterns and there's organization clearly.
Not really, because quantum mechanics doesn't fit in well with like Newtonian physics and even Einsteinian physics. It doesn't gel well with the theory of relativity. You see what I'm saying? So it's like,
No, I mean, there's different theories, but what I'm saying is the method of gaining or trying to figure out these theories, you have to use mathematics, right? We have to use some type of formulas.
sure, we have to use like formulas, or we have to make up entirely new fields of math. That's what Einstein. I mean, not Einstein. That's what Newton did. He had to create calculus to understand what he was trying to discover with the universe. Give me 1 second. Okay. Hey, y'all, I do see all y'all requests. Don't leave. Okay. I'm gonna give Hassan maybe about actually, Hassan, we passed 20 minutes. I gotta go ahead and let you down. All right.
Yeah,
So
I
go ahead and give
appreciate
me
you
any
having
last
me
thing
up.
that you need.
Yeah, no, I appreciate you having up here. This is a good discussion. I kind of said what I wanted to say. I'll take off.
All right. Appreciate you, Hassan. You have a good one.
Take care. You too.
All right. I'm not sure if your name is Goji or Gojus. You can correct me when you come up.
Yo, what up, man?
What's up? Was that Gojus or Gojus?
Gorgeous, yeah.
Gojus. What's going on, man? Talk to me.
Nothing too much, man. I just, bro, I don't really agree with the atheist belief, man. You can't even say what an atheist is without using God, right? It's just not believing in God specifically. Is that how you guys describe it?
Pretty much like we lack a belief in a God or gods.
God.
Lack of belief in a God and gods, and mainly a lack of belief in the supernatural. I'm one of the ones that lack a belief in the supernatural, but some people do believe in the supernatural.
Where does that come from, though? Where does that origin? Like the origins of that belief. Where does that start? And who started that? Even? Like who started the atheism belief?
No one.
No one started it.
No, there's not one person who started. That's like asking who started, the belief of that rain falls. Like it's one of those. I don't. There is no one central person. Like the thing is, like, atheism is not like how other religions. It's not a religion. It's a lack of belief. You see what I'm saying? So it's not like there's an origin of, this was the father of atheism. That's not how that happens. There's always been atheists.
So then, where do you get your knowledge of understanding anything? Then, like, what do you look for to learn from?
I look for evidence. I look for good reasons. I look
okay, I got you. All right, so truthfully, man, if I did give you some evidence, would you take it seriously, and would you actually consider it, like, really thinking about it, or like considering it to be evidence to you?
If I think it's good evidence, sure.
Okay, so basically, me too. I'm looking for evidence too, right? I don't just believe off faith, like they say. Oh, I'll just have faith and that's it. So believe it without any evidence. I don't agree with that either. So if you look up all the religions, all the whatever, they're all man-made, right? Religion, they're all man-made.
It seems to be that way, yeah.
So you can't really go off religion, but the Bible technically is not a religion. It's the Word of God. It's for everybody.
See, right, got you. But you see, once you say something like that, that's what I'm gonna. Come on, y'all. He just got up here.
What's up? You gotta kick me?
Yeah, they gave you the path.
That's all good, brother. I was gonna give you some evidence, but
maybe he just got up here, y'all. Come on, I got kick you up because they gave you the Panther Claw. Give me about another 10 minutes, all right? I'll bring you back.
I just need a couple minutes, brother. I just need a couple minutes. That's it. But I just want to say,
I gotta let him down, but I'm gonna give him another minute. Okay, go ahead.
Just give me 1 minute, brother. That's it. So I only think the Bible is real only because the origins, man. I look up the origin of any belief before I even consider following it. All right, and if you compare it to any other origin of any other belief, there's none that can compare to it, man. They know things that they could never have known. 3,000 years ago, they were making claims that are all coming true and all happening, dude. There's no way they could have known that stuff, dude. And that's
it. Appreciate it. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Sorry. I had to give him his last 30 seconds to get it off. All right. Oh, bad. Y'all give him the Panther Claw real quick. real quick, man. He just got up here. Got him to pat the claw real quick. I just wanted to give him 30 seconds to say what he had to say. But yeah, the Bible is not good reasons. You need to actually show me why the Bible is a good reason, because like a lot of things that they predicted either didn't come true. I would suggest go to the live of Deconstruction Zone, Justin. He actually goes through biblical history, biblical scholarship, and he shows you how Jesus didn't actually fulfill any of the prophecies, how a lot of the books in the Bible are actually ridiculous. If you follow Dan McClellan, he'll also explain a lot of those things to you. But yeah, y'all give him the Panther Claw real quick. Y'all gave him quick. Y'all gave it to him quick. I just give him that last 30 seconds. All right, that's all I want to do. Give him that last 30 seconds. Oh, bad. But yo, I do appreciate y'all being here. We are at 2,000 likes. Get me to 3,000. We have 23 people here right now, and I'm gonna bring up the next person. Deo gratis, correct?
Yeah, deal.
Deo, how's it going, bro? Yeah, like I said, y'all appreciate y'all. Let's get me to 3,000 likes. We're at 22 people right now. Keep liking, keep sharing. Deo, it's on you, bro. We got 20 minutes. What's on your mind?
Yeah, so I believe that humans can be ethical if there's no God.
I'm sorry. You said humans cannot be ethical if there's no God?
Yeah.
Okay, sure. Why do you believe that?
Because we can't explain why good things are good and bad things are bad.
Sure, we can. I can do that without a God.
Okay, is stealing bad?
Yes,
Why?
causes harm.
Why is harm bad?
Harm is bad because it causes suffering.
Why is suffering bad?
Because it doesn't feel good.
Why is that bad?
Why is it bad to not feel good?
Yep.
Because I don't feel good when I suffer. I don't want other people to feel bad.
That's circular. That's a circular argument.
So
Why is feeling bad bad?
feeling bad is bad because it leads to bad results.
And
You
why
see
is
this
bad
all the
results
time.
bad? Why are bad results bad?
Bad results are bad because it causes humanity to not thrive.
And why is that a bad thing?
You about to get the Panther Claw, bro? Are you seriously asking me why? Yeah, I knew you was about to get the Panther Claw, bro. You was really about to get the Panther Claw, man. Like, come on now. You really asking me why is suffering a bad thing? Seriously? Come on. Yeah, you was about to get the Panther Claw. Yeah. Yeah. I'm sorry. Why is suffering bad? I will. No, Dale, I can tell you why bad things are bad. Bad things are bad because they lead to suffering. Suffering is objectively bad. It leads to worse results. It leads to people not living, not thriving. Humanity not thriving is a bad thing because we go extinct. What are you saying? I don't. What the hell are you saying? Christ oh, Christ Almighty and all the ancestors. Oh boy. I'm bringing someone else up, y'all. Hey, Calm, how's it going, man?
Hey, what's up, man? I've been panthering people for you who were done. My bad if I'm moving them too quick, bro. It's just that why is bad bad? That's a bad argument, right? And the other guy like pretending like the weather is perfect and stuff like, oh well, if God set it into motion, why are there floods and volcanoes and tornadoes, guys killing people left and right? What you talking about, man?
Oh my god. Oh my god. This is I don't know, but I got a headache.
Yeah, I don't know how you
I
do
got
it,
a
bro.
headache. Oh my god. Extinction is why is extinction bad? Because we want to live? Like, what are you asking? I don't understand.
Hilarious. And you know what's funny is like in the Bible, it's in First Kings, Elijah's like presented with a Baal worshiper who's saying that God's not real, and then Elijah's saying that Baal's not real.
Hmm.
So then like they get into a fight, and they're like, okay, well, I'm gonna prove it. Elijah's like, I'm gonna have God light this bull on fire, and he does it, right? And
I remember that story.
and then Baal doesn't, and Elijah's like, oh shit, and he starts mocking him, and he's like, oh, is your God in the bathroom or something? But now people have to be like, well, why is bad to try to prove that their God is real? They have to do such mental gymnastics. They're exactly like the people that Elijah was making fun of in their fucking fake ass book. It's hilarious. They're absolute hypocrites, man.
Oh my goodness, man! I kind of, I don't know. I kind of figured this would be a kind of a hilarious night because the moment 2 people got panthered, I was like, yeah, this is about to be a hilarious night.
All right, man. I'm gonna move so you can I don't know, talk on some more.
Hey, no,
I'll see you later.
No problem, man. I appreciate you. All right, y'all. We're at 3,000 likes. I do appreciate y'all. Probably gonna be here for like the next maybe 20 or 30 minutes. I do appreciate all the likes. I do appreciate all the support. I do appreciate everybody who's here. We're at 3.2K likes. Let's see if we can get to 4,000. We're at 16 people here. If we can get more people here, I would appreciate it, and I would appreciate anybody coming up. For the 2 people who got panthered, I'm sorry. But y'all, once y'all make ridiculous arguments, the audience is gonna move you down. Audience is gonna move you down, and I'm gonna have to bring someone else up. Appreciate all the likes. Appreciate all the support, y'all. Appreciate all the likes. Appreciate all the support. All right, y'all. So I am looking for if someone can give me a good reason to believe in a God. I don't think I've had one yet. I don't want to give y'all my entire journey to atheism story. There's not the live for that. When I do a Q&A, I'll probably do a Q&A tomorrow when and I could talk about my entire journey. Keep liking, keep sharing. I do appreciate everybody who's here. All right. Hey, Pai Chi, that's a good point. Eternal life is revered, but extinction. Oh, man. I've heard that before, Timothy. I'm atheist because I'm mad at God, which is kind of funny. A little bit of my background. I grew up in a church, right? And whenever some people tell me that I'm an atheist because like I'm mad at God, or I had bad experiences, or I'm traumatized or something, I always find that ridiculous because no, I wasn't traumatized. Church was a very wonderful place for me. My best friend, the one who's gonna be the best man at my wedding, he's a Methodist now. We grew up Pentecostal, but he's a Methodist now, and he's my best friend. You know what I mean? And I met him at church. I mean, my first girlfriend, church. You know what I mean? If you tell me to think about my childhood and my fondest memories, church. You see, so church was not a bad place for me. I didn't become atheist because like I'm mad at God or something like that. I became an atheist because I found out that I have no good reason to believe it. Yeah, I mean, if I can be moral, if I can be ethical, if I can have purpose and direction, and I have no evidence that this is true, then I have no good reason to believe it. It's really that simple, you know? I appreciate the likes, y'all. I appreciate the discussion. Hey, Tim, I appreciate you as well. Let's try to get us to 4,000 likes. We're at 12 people here. If y'all know anybody who would actually like to discuss this, go ahead and share it with them, and we could discuss it more. But for the people who got panthered, I'm sorry. Maybe on the next live you can join me. I will do a Q&A tomorrow. Okay, I'll do a Q&A tomorrow. You guys could be there. You can join me then. But for now, you can't come back up tonight. You can't come back up tonight. I'll be here for maybe in about another 15 minutes. All right. We'll try to see if another person comes in. Another person does request and come in, then we'll bring them up and we'll go ahead and end it there. But I do appreciate y'all being here, though. I do appreciate y'all being here, like I said. You know what I mean? Thank you for all the gifts. Thank you for all the support. What I want here, the reason why I do these lives is because I want these discussions to happen. You know what I mean? There's not a lot of people who look like me that are non-believers. Most people who look like me are believers. So we're not normalized. You know what I mean? And I do hate to make it a race thing. That's not what this is about. But there's not a lot of people who look like me, so we're not normalized in that case. Within my own community, within the Black community, unfortunately, people like myself do not have a good representation. Essentially, if you look at a lot of Black media, for example, I'm pretty sure that a lot of y'all in the audience are in the United States or Canada. I'm pretty sure y'all have seen Medea movies, right? Every single Medea movie does not put someone in my position, someone who doesn't believe in a God. We're not shown in a good light. If you watch BET or if you watch hood movies at all, people who are not believers are not shown in a good light. You know what I'm saying? We're either shown as lost or, have huge mental health issues, or just all around dickheads and assholes. That's how they portray us. So the reason why I do these is because people like myself need more visibility. Now that doesn't mean that I'm not going to talk to someone who's not of my race. Of course, people who aren't my race were already up here and we talked. You know what I'm saying? So I'm going to speak to them. But the reason why I want myself to have more visibility is because of that. I want my community to see that these questions that you have are normal and we can have discussions over them. That's one of the reasons why I do these. But I appreciate y'all. We're at 3.4K likes. We got 7 people here. We did drop a little bit. We did drop a little bit. I do appreciate the discussion that's happening, but I'm not gonna stay here for long. I'm only gonna give it a few more minutes. If I don't get any more requests in the next few minutes, then we're gonna go ahead and end the live. If I don't get any more discussions within the next few minutes, I'll go ahead and end the live and I'll I'll go on another live. Like I'll talk to somebody else. Yeah, Justin is doing a live. That's why I was afraid of doing mine right now, because Justin is doing one and everybody goes there. Everybody goes to his. So I might go to his and hang out there for a little bit. Mr. Coco is also doing a live, and I think Sebastian is also doing a live. Yeah, I mean, so there's a lot of popular lives going on tonight. So I might go over to Justin's because I always learn something when Justin is there. When Justin does his lives, I always learn something. So I might go over to his. I'm gonna give it a few more minutes though, probably about 2 or 3. And if I don't get any more requests, then I'm gonna go ahead and end this here. Tomorrow I'll do a Q&A. Hey Tim, I appreciate you, man. I appreciate you coming across my live as well. Tomorrow I'll do a Q&A. On Tuesdays, I do politics. On Tuesdays, I do politics. You know what I mean? And I know that's not a popular subject for people. You know what I mean? Even my fellow atheists. Politics gets a little dicey. It gets a little dicey. But Tuesdays when I do politics, I usually do the religious topics on Thursdays. I just couldn't do it yesterday because I had issues going on yesterday, so I didn't do it yesterday. I did it today. And tomorrow I'll do a Q&A. But I do appreciate y'all. Subscribe if y'all haven't. I have tons of emotes that y'all can use. If I look at my emotes, if you subscribe, I have pretty hilarious emotes. So subscribe if you haven't. And I appreciate all the gifts, y'all. Hey, Deo Gratis, listen, this philosophy bro stuff that you're doing is not gonna work, bro. Like this Phil bro shit is not gonna work, bro. Because you're literally asking ridiculous questions, man. You're asking ridiculous questions. Why is loving my family good? Like, seriously, why is loving God good? You know what? Let's do this. Loving my family is good for the same reason loving your God is good. How about that? Yeah, my family is goodness and love. It's the same reason. Ridiculous. Ty, this is gonna be the last person. How's it going?
Yeah. I'm not ops, so I'm not gonna take up too much of your time. I just wanted to discuss some of what he's talking about here.
Yeah, sure.
There's a certain like sort of like I find this like laughable because like he's going to like it's like if he's talking about what's like God being good for the world, he's going to index it to the same type of things that we're going to index goodness to. He's not going to say like, oh, follow God because you'll crash your car off a cliff and all of your family will be unalived, and then the next day you'll have influenza. So that's why you should follow God, right? He's going to say something to the extent of, it enriched my life. And by enrich, he's going to mean essentially the same thing that we mean.
Exactly.
He's going to mean this. He's going to index it to the same utility, the same consequences, same amount of virtue. And you can like pick apart what any of that means, but he's essentially going to, no one, I've never once heard someone say, oh, I got saved and my life was miserable. That's how I know it's the right thing to do. Right. That's laughable. Like, it's disingenuous. Like I find it like rather disingenuous. I did it too though, so I don't ascribe too much like ill intent. I was part of the zeitgeist as well. I just didn't realize, and I had similar conversations with like friends where I was like arguing for the utility of God, and they would be like, but we have the same life you do, so and I didn't see it at the time, and I'm like, no, but it's life with like this extra God thing. And they're like, yeah, but you're like, we know you and your life's the same as ours, and I didn't see it. I was mentally convinced that my life was different, even though all the signs was showing it was the same. And now I look on it and I see change in my life, actual change that I can like tangibly, like it's like tangible. And I now feel like my life is better, which is not to say that like the route I went was necessarily right. I just like, I do have tangible evidence. So what do I do with that now? Right. Like I do have less anxiety. I do have like these things are tangible.
Yeah, so, exactly. Same thing for me.
Yeah, like, and I don't think I'm mistaken about that. I think it's evident. Like, I think other people could point to it too. But what were you gonna say?
Yeah, I was gonna say that when I believe, like, I had a lot of issues, like anxiety of stuff of like why things are the way they are. You know what I mean? And why do people suffer and what I can do about it, and why are my prayers not working? So when I stopped believing, I was like, okay, my prayers aren't working because probably there is no super, fairy God thing out there that's gonna bless people with manna and milk from heaven. I gotta do it myself. So like, and it resolves a lot of that. And now I think I love people deeper now that I don't believe, because I don't think there's something after this. And because I don't believe there's something after this, I need to love people today because I don't know if I'm ever going to see you again. And most likely, I'm never going to see you again. This is all we have. So I need to love you deeply.
Yeah. And I agree. And I also feel like I do it without, I feel like I don't do it with the same agenda either, like I don't, which is not, again, like not to, I try to be careful with what I say because I'm personally not the type of non-believer that like ascribes ill intent to believers. I think it's, I ascribe the problem to the larger zeitgeist, not the individual believer. I don't think like anyone is believing with like the motive necessarily to like harm. Like I don't think that's like how belief comes about, right? So
Agreed.
but with that said, like I now see the way I love, and it's like I just do it because I index it to like the utility of seeing human flourishing, right? I don't do it for any other reason by that. I don't do it because Jesus told me so. I do it because I look at my hands and I look at another's hands and I see that our hands are the same. and I have an empathetic response to that. And I don't need any more than that. I don't need any more than that. And it feels much more like I don't know. It just feels more genuine. It feels like it's like a one-to-one love versus like a love that is like has like like external motivators that I can't like point to or justify. Right? It feels like it's just like empirical. Like it's like an empirical basis for like like it's like a self-evident basis for love versus some unjustified external motivation.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Like that's what I want. Give me 1 second.
Yeah.
Hey, sorry, I had some YouTube pod because there was an echo coming through. But yeah, I agree, and I appreciate that because it's like I feel the same way. It's a lot more genuine for me, you know what I mean? Because like just like you said, there's no outside motivation to do it. It's like it's a question that I heard in Sunday school before, right? If heaven didn't exist, would you still do the good things that you do? You know what I mean? And when that question was asked in Sunday school, that was one of the things that got me questioning for real. It's like we ascribe all these things because of Jesus and God and going to heaven. But let's say God does exist, but heaven doesn't. There is no heaven. Then what? Are we still not gonna do the good things? Are we still not gonna love people? Are we still not gonna treat people well? We're still gonna do all that. You see what I'm saying? So none of that is necessary. So it's more genuine to me that we're doing things for their own sake than ascribing it to something and not doing the entire Phil bro thing that Deo Gratis wanted us to do. Oh, bad. But listen, Pi, I do appreciate you. I'm gonna go ahead and get out of here. Like I said, I'm only gonna give it a few more minutes until we could leave. But I do appreciate you being up here, bro.
Yeah, thanks, man. Peace.
Not a problem. All right, y'all. I'm gonna go ahead and end the live here. I do appreciate y'all being here. Let's all go hang out on Justin's live because I know he's live right now. If you're not there, you can go to Sebastian's or you can go to Coco's. I'll be hopping in and out of those. But I do appreciate y'all, and I'll see y'all later. All right, y'all have a good one. Thank you for all the gifts. Thank you for everybody who joined.